Hello, this is Canyon Podcast Preacher, and I want to welcome you back to Deep Waters. This podcast is brought to you by Applied Saints Ministry, where we believe working together in our strengths is the effect of working out the will and calling of God in our lives. The title of this message is God with me or not? I read 2 Samuel chapter 22 and thought that someone should know this about God. Someone needs to hear that God is a participatory God, that God hasn't left us for dead in a world that is dying. Someone should know the knowable God and see and experience His love for His authentically born again, hearing and doing saintly servants. Why, when we know that we get in it, we should also know that He can get us out of it. There is no quicksand in the kingdom of God, least your faith is in fear. You cannot be stuck in God, only always moving in victory. You cannot die out of season or purpose. He has you. 2 Samuel chapter 22 verse 1. David prayed to God the words of this song after God saved him from all of his enemies and from Saul. God is my bedrock under my feet, the castle in which I live, my rescuing knight, my God, the high crag where I run for dear life, hiding behind the boulders, safe in the granite hideout. My mountaintop refuge, He saves me from ruthless men. I sing to God the praise lofty, and find myself safe and saved. The waves of death crash over me. Devil waters rushed over me. Hell's rope cinched me tight. Death traps barred every exit. A hostile world. I called to my God, I cried out. From His palace He heard me call. My cry brought me right into His presence, a private audience. Earth wobbled and lurched. The very heavens shook like leaves, quaked like aspen leaves because of His rage. His nostrils flared, billowing smoke. His mouth spit fire. Tongues of fire darted in and out. He lowered the sky. He stepped down. Under His feet an abyss opened up. He rode a winged creature, swift on wind wings. He wrapped Himself in a trench coat of black rain cloud darkness. But His cloud brightness burst through, a grand comet of fireworks. Then God thundered out of heaven. The high God gave a great shout. God shot His arrows. Pandemonium! He hurled His lightnings, a rout. The secret source of oceans were exposed. The hidden depths of earth lay uncovered. The moment God roared in protest, let loose His hurricane anger. But me He caught, reached all the way from sky to sea. He pulled me out of that ocean of hate, that enemy chaos, the void in which I was drowning. They hit me when I was down, but God stuck by me. He stood me up on a wide open field. I stood there saved, surprised to be loved. God made my life complete. When I placed all the pieces before Him, when I cleaned up my act, He gave me a fresh start. Indeed, I have kept alert to God's ways. I haven't taken God for granted. Every day I review the ways He works. I try not to miss a trick. I feel put back together, and am watching my step. God rewrote the text of my life when I opened the book of my heart to His eyes. You stick by people who stick with you. You're straight with people who straight with you. You're good to good people. You shrewdly work around the bad ones. You take the side of the down and out, but the stuck up you take down a peg. Suddenly, God, your light floods my path. God drives out the darkness. I smash the band of marauders. I vault the high fences. What a God! His road stretches straight and smooth. Every God direction is road tested. Everyone who runs towards Him makes it. Is there any God like God? Are we not at bedrock? Is not this the God who armed me well, then aimed me in the right direction? Now I run like a deer. I am king of the mountain. He shows me how to fight. I can bend a bronze bow. You protect me with salvation armor. You touch me and I feel 10 feet tall. You cleared the ground under me so my footing was firm. When I chased my enemies, I caught them. You didn't let go until they were dead men. I nailed them. They were down for good. Then I walked all over them. You armed me well for this fight. You smashed the upstarts. You made my enemies turn tail, and I wiped out the haters. They cried uncle, but uncle didn't come. They yelled for God and got no for an answer. I ground them to dust. They gushed in the wind. I threw them out like garbage in the gutter. You rescued me from a squabbling people. You made me a leader of nations. People I'd never heard of served me. The moment they got wind of me, they submitted. They gave up. They came trembling from their hideouts. Live, God. Blessing to my rock, my towering salvation, God. This God set things right for me and shut up the people who talked back. He rescued me from enemy anger. You pulled me from the grips of upstarts. You saved me from the bullies. That's why I'm thanking you, God, all over the world. That's why I'm singing songs that rhyme your name. God's king takes the trophy. God's chosen is beloved. I mean David and all his children, always. Well, that's it for today. Remember, it's not what you find wrong or disagree with regarding these messages, but what you can take away from it. Together we can do more to impact the kingdom than if we work alone. Let's flip the script and kill, steal, and destroy the works of the enemy, and create space for the light of lights to shine through into people's lives. Plant a seed and click on the like and subscribe button. Let's build this ministry together. Thanks, and see you next time in Deep Waters.